Hello, all my dear Aries friends. This is Maxine Taylor, America's first licensed astrologer, and I've got a super forecast for you. I hope you enjoy it. So let's get started. First of all, want to mention if you haven't watched the overview, you might want to do that because on it, I talked about Mercury moving into the shadow of the retrograde, which it will do on the 19th. The shadow of the retrograde is the precursor. It's like an announcer saying, and when we return, such and such will take place. Okay, it's like Paul Revere riding through the streets saying the British are coming. Well, Mercury retrograde is on its way. It will go retrograde April 2nd. Now, what does it mean when it goes retro? Or in the shadow, I should say. Well, most people know when Mercury goes retrograde, everything is confused. You do not start new projects, particularly those that deal with communication, correspondence, or transportation, your mouth or your mind, because they're not working as a team. So you can start a new project when Mercury's in the shadow, but good luck. It feels exactly like Mercury is already retrograde. I know, it's thrilling. What are you going to do? Okay, be aware of that. Now, I'm going to go through each of these planets one by one. Mars is your ruler. Mars is in your 11th house. Excuse me. We who live in Atlanta are pollinated now. I don't care what the weather report says. Some of my dearest friends and I are pollinated. All right. Mars is what you throw yourself into. It's what comes first to you. It's been in your 11th house. It's going to stay there until the 22nd when you say, I'm just pulling back and I'm moving into my subconscious. I'm just pulling back and I want to be alone is what you're really saying. And so your friends are very important to you. Mars is what you fight with and fight for. Have you gone toe to toe with a friend? Have you taken a stand for something humanitarian? Because that 11th house is what we're talking about here. It's gorgeous. And then on the 22nd, it's like, sayonara, I want to be alone. All right. Venus, the pink planet, is love. It is the lesser benefic. It is the one that brings beauty and music and love um, and sugar in all forms. It's in your 11th house and has been there. And so you may have one particular friend that you turn to for, it doesn't have to be love of a romantic type. It just can be love in general. And there's a love of humanity when Venus is in the 11th house. It's quite beautiful. So you got love and war in the same house. And that works out as passion. You're passionate about things. I think that's cool. On the 11th, Venus pulls back and says, don't bother me. I need to be alone. And at this point, if there's somebody in your life, for example, who you don't want to share with anybody else, you'd rather not see it written, on your local newspaper. You want your privacy when it comes to love. I understand. Go for it. That is how to function with Venus in the 12th house. You love your solitude, you love your privacy, and what you love is nobody's business, 12th house. All right, Mercury, the blue planet, that's what you think about and talk about. It's not a doing, it's a thinking. It has been in your 12th house, which means you've been confused. The 12th house is the spirit plane. Mercury is your conscious mind. On the 9th, it is going to move into your first house, and you're going to talk about yourself. You're going to put yourself first, which is what comes naturally to you. And so, hey, baby, you're back. And the yellow planet is the sun, the giver of life. It's the center of your life. It's in your 12th house. It says, go away, world. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to bother with you. Just find something else to do. Okay? On the 19th, the equinox, the sun moves into your first house. And you're saying, I am doing what I want, when I want, how I want, because I want, out of my way. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. Preferably get out of the way. And so can you see that by the end of March, you're doing your thing your way, and that is where you are most comfortable. Now you might be saying, I do that already. I do it every day. Well, you're going to do it more. Okay? Just alert your friends or not. Now, we've got the new moon and we've got the full moon, which is a lunar eclipse. On the new moon, everything starts growing. The moon rules function and form, but it's in your 12th house and you're moving backwards, and not in a negative way. You're just moving back. You want to be away from people. That's fine. As the moon grows, it prepares you for the full moon. And this full moon, as I mentioned, is an eclipse. We feel the effects of an eclipse at least a week ahead of time. All right? Because on the full moon, things come to a head. Now, is this a negative thing? No, it's not. It is coming to a head. It's in your 7th house of relationships. And you might be saying, well, does that mean I'm going to break up with somebody or start a fight with? No, not at all. It could be that you find somebody wonderful. And I'll explain in a second. The full moon is on the 25th. You're going to feel it ahead of time, at least 2 days ahead. It's in 5 degrees of Libra. I failed to mention that the new moon is in 20 degrees of Pisces. That is where things start forming, start happening. On the full moon, that's when they come to a head. We feel the effects of an eclipse, as I said, about, 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks ahead of time. But they are with us. They're at their peak 3 to 4 months after they occur. All right. And they last until the next pair of eclipses come along. However, if this lunar eclipse falls on your sun or your moon or your ascendant, it's a new life eclipse and it's going to last for at least a year. And so this can be a whole new life for you. It can be an incredible gift. And if you are a student, a spiritual student, I should say, you know that you are the creator of your life. And no matter what aspects the eclipse may trigger, you call the shots. So, till we meet again, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours.